AI orchestration is the next frontier, and Paperclip is leading the way. Right now, businesses are building on top of people. For example, a team of developers, they get hired to develop a product. They then complete the product. They wait for it to go into production, then continue working on it on an ongoing basis to keep it running smoothly, perhaps even on a retainer. And then comes the marketing team. They build a website, perhaps even a sales funnel. They run the social media, the newsletters, the blog posts, and everything needed to actually sell the product, right? The developers created it. The marketing team starts selling it. And that's back to the developers again. They've created that sales funnel, the blog and everything. And they now need to make that funnel work. They need to integrate to checkout, product delivery, and perhaps even license validation and installation. And so much more little, intricate little details that are often overlooked or forgotten. Now, what about taking care of the customers, right? You've created the product. The team has created the product. It's being promoted and marketed and actually being sold. Now we need a product knowledge base. We need email support, bug and issue discovery, and handing this back to the development team. Then communicating with the consumer that the issue is being resolved and installed and deployed on their setup, et cetera, et cetera. This is, of course, in a software development type, environment. But this principle goes on through all sorts of businesses, right? Then next you have quality control, the work that has done by those developers, marketers, and customer supporters needs to be checked somehow. There's code quality, content quality, support quality, the happiness measurement. And all of this needs to be monitored and verified to ensure that it is up to the standard of the company that's actually creating and selling the product. Now, all these things are part of our present, but I think, as it turns out, it is most likely not going to be a part of our future. Back in November 2022, when ChatGPT was released, and yes, it was that recent, I immediately understood that it would actually change the world, but not exactly in what way. And what it unlocked, it allowed me, I'm a web designer and developer, read Stack Overflow Code Hacker, to create and actually develop my own software. So forwarding to February 2023, I built my first WordPress plugin. Just a few weeks later, I started selling it to my customers. I tested it, built a website for it, and then my wife, Sharon, whom I run our company with, handled customer support, documentation, and within the next few years, we sold hundreds of copies of that software. It was in a specific niche, specific product that solved a specific pain point, and really made it easy to deploy that type of site and system for those customers. So that was really, really great. I used to be the company that hired developers to build that for me. But again, with ChatGPT coming in, I was actually able to convert the standalone software into a WordPress plugin, started selling that, yada, yada. So then again, fast forwarding to early March 2025, I'm on X, doom scrolling as we all are. And I see a post from someone named Dota introducing this new open source project called Paperclip. And I was sort of intrigued because this was for me, for his follow-up, like a little reply on his own tweet. This was for me if I had 20 Claude code tabs open and I couldn't remember what was doing what. I use different agents like Codex and OpenClaw and Hermes and all these cool things that are popping up out of the woodworks now. And if I wanted agents working for me 24/7 with auditable work, and costs, and I wanted an autonomous business, not to manage pull requests, which as a Stack Overflow code hacker, I'm growing quite fond of, but I'm already on the tipping scale of another PR. Like if you're someone like me who, and my wife who've, been doing this for over 12 years now, like this is what you want. You want this to be autonomous and you focus on the creative part and not, be working with those teams, be working with all those people, hiring them, salaries, stuff like that. So this sounded really, really interesting because this was exactly what I wanted and needed. With AI moving at the speed of sound, I was working night and day trying to extract as much value from it as possible. Almost burning myself out sometimes just to keep up and build my business. I still do this to this very day, even with Paperclip and running all of that. But yeah, so yeah, it's, I'm still burning myself out sometimes, but a couple good night rests usually fix that. So at Aaron and Sharon, we primarily develop software, then we sell it, and then we support it. So AI has been a dream come true for us. It has quite literally been a blessing and a curse. And because of my combined ADHD, a new problem revealed itself, which was I have more free time and the ability to start more projects. And over the years, we stockpiled a list of domain names, like a little drawer full. And the thought was always, we might want to do something with that soon. So we registered it and it kept on to it. And when I saw Dota's post about Paperclip, I thought to myself, what if I set this thing up and have it handle those for me? So most of them are what are called exact match domains, short EMDs. These domains literally say what the product is in them. So this shouldn't be that hard to do. So with Ralph loops, look into those if you have no idea what they are. Really, really worth it. We can now quite easily and autonomously develop full software solutions with just a single product requirement document. As long as you have that process down, you have a really good PRD. Yeah, you can just turn on a Ralph loop and have a really complicated software solution created for you in a couple of days, a couple million tokens, a lot more than that, but a couple million tokens in AI costs. And it can be complex too. It's not just like a one-page website or something. I ran one of those Ralph loops for one of the EMDs, thinking that Paperclip couldn't handle full software development, which, spoiler alert, I was wrong because it can. I've done it with other companies that I tested in the meantime, and it does. So when that product was done, I created my first company inside of Dota's Paperclip. It's called Traffic Exchange Script. If you check out my YouTube, there are multiple videos. I have a Paperclip AI playlist. Actually take a look at, yeah, there's a lot more information and storytelling of how I did it all, at the time that I was actually doing it, and with screen shares, you can actually follow along. Talking to the CEO, like Dota instructed, you are the founder. So I instructed him, and I'm totally LARPing here, that I wanted to create a website to sell the product. I needed user documentation, developer documentation. If we go back to the beginning of these slides or presentation, video, whatever you want to call it, the marketing team, the blog posts, the social media posts, all that stuff. And that I had given it a single HTML file, or not a single, I think it was 2 or 3, with the style that I had in mind for it. I was still going to Claude AI to actually do all of that stuff, and then I downloaded that and I fed it to the Paperclip CEO. And what happened next was nothing short of a miracle to me. It got it. And because of the custom skills and instructions that Paperclip gives and how that works on the back end, and it went to work. It turned my single HTML file into a full WordPress theme and started pushing me that it needed details to deploy. And I thought to myself, if you're on X and you're in these circles, Peter Levels was a fellow Dutchie, and he was sporting Claude Code directly on his VPS. I was like, what if I just give it SSH access to my servers? That basically means that I give AI and Claude full control over my hosting, my virtual private server. And I did. I created a new blank VPS, which at the time wasn't important, but it's grown to be quite important. So I have proper backup structures in place now, but it was like a little test area, playground. That's how I thought of it then, at least. And now I don't. Like I said, now it's becoming more serious. I did. I set up the domain, like I connected that DNS. And then Paperclip took over. It installed WordPress. It uploaded the theme. It activated the site. And I was like, what? Like, it actually worked. Like, I didn't have to do, I used to be doing all of this. I got the domain name. I painstakingly coded the product for it. Then I installed WordPress. I set up the theme. I built the landing page. I did all of that stuff myself manually. And now Paperclip did all of it for me. It's like, what? It worked. But I had a pricing table on that landing page with no payments installed. You click the buy button and it didn't do anything. So what did I do? I chartered my new best friend, Paperclip, of course, to handle it for me. And I sent the CEO a prompt. Can you install WooCommerce, look at the PRDs that we already have for the pricing information and create the products and set up the pricing and then hook it up with direct add to cart links to that pricing table. And in about 20 minutes, it was done. I connected Stripe and people were able to check out and buy my product. Mind-boggling. So then it just kept going. A live demo, which I needed for the product, it installed it for me. I asked it to do it and installed it for me. Wrote documentation, right? Remember again, beginning of this little presentation, the documentation, the support. It wrote the documentations based on the product source code for me. I explicitly instructed it to do that for both users and developers. And it wrote it for me and added it for me to the site. Blog posts, it writes them for me on a cadence now in my voice. However, I instruct it to do it on a Paperclip routine. SEO optimization. So because it has SSH access to the WordPress CLI, the command line interface, it actually checks RankMath, which RankMath is a WordPress SEO plugin. It checks the SEO data and then acts on it for me as if it was my SEO agency. And then for customer support, Inbox Zero handles that for me on autopilot after giving it access to our email solution. It is a bit quiet in there still, but over time, I'm sure those will come in. And Paperclip is actually handling the day-to-day for that entire project that didn't exist a few months ago. Highly targeted traffic, organic through Google, is coming in because of the site and content quality. And it's a matter of time before the first sales roll in. It's very niche. So it might take a while, which is fine with me. But once it does, my Paperclip orchestrated team of AI agents is ready to handle this on complete autopilot. And if it's not, I, as the founder, have to sort of jump in, instruct the agents to do what I want them to do. So with that said, in my opinion, this is the next frontier, and Paperclip is leading the way.